Hello guys, I'm Kiri. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna talk about one of the all-time greatest car in the world, the original Ford GT40. A car to be nominated with the title greatest must be something very special, and here it is. Won 24 hours of Le Mans 4 times in a row between 1966 and 1969, and this really is very special. But how has happened this? The story is very interesting. In 1960s, Henry Ford II was the boss of Ford Motor Company, and of course he was very wealthy. He was obsessed with sports cars. On that time Ford had only Ford Thunderbird 1955 and Ford Mustang 1964, which were, let's say, sports cars, but not really super sports cars like the European had it. These years were very popular for the motorsport and for the advertises. Ferrari was dominating the Formula One and the endurance races, but Le Mans was the pinnacle. Ferrari won there from 1958 to 1965, except 1959, and this makes the very small Italian factory very popular all around the world. Was even more famous than the biggest car manufacturer Ford. Of course, Henry Ford didn't accept this, and how we said before, was very wealthy, so he decided to buy the Ferrari company. He was thinking with the money he can buy everything, but actually he was rejected. He hit the stone. He tried again? No. Then he decided to build his own car to win Le Mans. This is the story how one of the greatest sports car came in the big game. Ford GT40 was an American high-performance endurance race car built from 1964 to 1969. For that period, they made only 105 cars in total, similar number to McLaren F1 and Bugatti EB110. There are four different modifications: GT40, Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3 and Mark 4, and the first three were built in England. But Mark 4, the last one, were designed and built in USA. All of them have similar chassis and V8 engines, but the power, the capacity was different. Even some of them are roadster versions, but the purpose was the same: to win Le Mans. However, after the disagreement with Enzo Ferrari, Henry Ford II contacted the British Lola team. They made agreement to start the production of car to beat Ferrari. Lola had already some experience with the GT cars and the chassis was absolutely perfect. Also, they used already a Ford V8 engine, so the combination was perfect. The Ford GT40 base was at Slough, near Heathrow Airport. They start in 1963, and in 1964 the first car was ready. And everything was made in England. The chassis, the body, the components, just the engine and gearbox were imported from USA. The price of the ready for competition car was 5,200 British pounds on that time, 1964. So this was the Ford GT40 Mark 1. The engine was 4.7 liter or 289 cubic inches, very famous from Ford actually, and was in the middle of the car. Of course, the same year they start to race. But the first year, 1964, even 1965, were not very successful. They won some races, but was not enough. Not enough for the boss Henry Ford II, for the investigation he made, and for the expectation. 1964, at Le Mans, all three cars retired. But all this was experience for the next car, Ford GT40 Mark II, with 7-liter engine. From that moment, everything was different. The car won at 24 hours at Daytona with Mark II. So Mark II finished first, second and third. Later, they won 12 hours at Sebring. They took again the first, second and third place. The winning time began. Ford GT40 won 24 hours of Le Mans 4 times in a row, how we said before, 1966, 1967, 1968 and 1969. The first year, 1966, with GT40 Mark II 7-liter engine V8, and with Bruce McLaren and Chris Amon on the wheel. The average speed on that time, 1966, was 125 miles per hour or 202 kilometers per hour. So this was very, very fast. Then in 1967, GT40 won again, but this time with Mark IV, with Dan Gurney and Foyt behind the wheel. The same 7-liter engine, but this time even more faster, 135 miles per hour or 218 kilometers per hour average speed at Le Mans. After that, because the cars became very, very fast, FIA decided to change the rule. The engine capacity was reduced to 5 liters. So Ford went back to Mark I engine 4.7, but they just enlarged to 4.9. For season 1968, Ford entered Le Mans also with Mark I version, but 4.9 liter, with drivers Pedro Rodriguez and Bianchi. This time they won Le Mans with Mark I 4.9 liter engine. 1969 season, again Mark I won Le Mans, but this time with Jackie Ickx and Jackie Oliver, with average speed 129 miles per hour or 209 kilometers per hour. But not only 24 hours of Le Mans. There were many races part of the World Championship calendar for GT41. So the car was very, very successful. But then came the German monster. The most fastest, maybe up to today, racing car Porsche 917, which took the leadership from Ford. And Porsche 917 actually was the dominant for the next few years. But let's go back to the Ford GT40. Before the production, they built 12 experimental cars. The very early ones, they're equipped with 4.2 liters V8 engines, but they're just for experiments. The car is very, very low, actually just 1 meter, which is exactly 40 inches, from where the name of the car came, GT40. So Ford Grand Tourer 40 inches. Very strange, because maybe this is the only car in the world to be named by the head of the car. But there it is, GT40. 5 of the experimental cars are open roadster style, and they are very rare now. But they built also a road version cars, so from the 105 cars in total built, 31 Mark I cars were built for road use. And they are a bit different from the racing cars. They have wire wheels, cigarette lighters and carpets inside, etc. etc. We said before about Mark I and Mark II, but the interesting fact is that there is also Ford GT40 Mark III, which is very rare, so there are only 7 in total built Mark III cars. This car has little bit different bodywork, and of course because it's only road going car, to be more usable and more comfortable. So the car has 4 headlights, extended backside to make space for luggage. The engine is 4.7 V8, but was detuned to only 306 horsepower. And again, there's many modifications like soft suspensions, leather trims inside, etc. etc. But this was completely different car, Mark III, because they need to make some road-going cars. So that's why they built 31 of the Mark I road-going cars and 7 Mark III for GT40. So today to find in very good condition actually for GT40 is very, very hard. It's very hard to find also absolutely original for GT40 because the racing versions, they've been updated many times with many different components, gearboxes, suspensions, but they're racing cars, and this is the important thing when you want to find a racing car. The important thing is what is the history of the car, what the car won actually, and not how original is. Every racing car been updated during the races, but the important thing about the racing cars is what actually the racing car achieved. The road cars, they are a little bit different. They're as well, some of them being updated. Just very few of them are very original, but to find one again is very hard. Just have a look here, the backside of this very original, actually, this Mark 1 1967. This is Mark 1 for GT40 1967 in this white color. Is absolutely amazing. You can see the twin exhausts in the backside of the car. The engine is, of course, behind the seats in the middle of the car. V8 Ford engine, 4.7 liter. This is, again, I'm gonna say 1967 Mark 1. But just have a look the backside, how beautiful it is. In the same time is very wide and is very low, just 1 meter or 40 inches. The exhaust pipes you can see here. The car is absolutely beautiful. The tires, of course, they are massive tires. You can see the gearbox under the body, of course, because the engine is on the front of the gearbox, or the gearbox is on the back side. So this is with British registration number, and how I said is Mark 1 Ford GT40. So again, this Ford actually engine V8 was very successful and very reliable. It's coming from Ford Galaxy, on that time the American model Ford Galaxy, and was very actually good engine. You can see here with racing wheels and just one wheel nut in the middle. So because they needed to change the tires very quick, very fast, not to lose time at very important races, of course. And the doors are open with the part of the roof, of course, for the easy entrance or exit. The driver need to come very easy and come out or in very easy. So absolutely great car for GT40. Is amazing car, is absolutely big part of the racing history, and to won Le Mans 4 times and in a row, 1966, 1969, is absolutely big achievement. Before that, Ferrari was the dominant, how we said, from 1958 to 1965, except 1959, but and then for GT40. So guys, I hope you like the video about this great car for GT40. If you like, please subscribe my channel and see you next time. Bye.